Hi everybody, I am back. I'm Co. This is my first video for the Waffle, the World Fantasy Football League, aka the American Division, aka formerly the LOC, but we have rebranded and for our 10th year. So 10 years I've been in with playing with Commission and a lot of the other owners. Yeah, so let's just hop right into it. First up, we have Chris and No More. He finished. He did first finish first overall. Well, that means he won the loser bracket, so he got the ability to finish first overall. And let's take a look at his keepers. First up, he has Joe Burrow, Hollywood Brown, Debo Samuel, DJ Moore, George Kittle, and Jeremy Chin. Um, with that said, he did just trade Chris Olave, who I probably would definitely start over Hollywood Brown. But okay, we all can make good ideas on our own. So, and speaking about not making good ideas, he did trade the what would turn into the 101 for Melvin Gordon. A couple other picks that are don't make any sense anymore. Definitely not on his team anymore. Didn't help him win. He was 3-6 at the time of the trade. He finished 5-9, I believe. So trading that right that 101, horrible decision in my opinion, because I think Melvin Gordon, who's probably the best player in that trade, is besides the IDP that he traded to me for 11th. Um, got injured 2 weeks later and didn't really help him get one of the first overall. And he doesn't have any seconds, he doesn't have any eighth, doesn't have any 12th, doesn't have any 13th. He does have 2/3, 2/4, 2/9, 2/11, 2/21, 2/22, and 2/23. Does have the 602. With that said, I think he only has 6 of the original 10 picks that he would have in the first 10 rounds. Him, Asadul, Ryan, aka Deuce Bombers, and even cashing my Belichick's. I think they all have 6 picks in the top 10. Do note that each one of you guys can only trade away one more of your original 10 picks because the rule is having 10 picks or 5 picks out of your original 10 has to be your original 10. Whether you have 20 first rounders and no other picks, that is technically against the law or the rules, I should say. So you have to have 5 of your original 10 picks. They have to be your own. So do keep that in mind. He does have 3 19th rounders, and his last pick is in the 24th round. Next up in the division is Fallen Misfits. So let's go ahead and take a look at his keepers. Lamar Jackson, he did trade for Lamar Jackson in the offseason. Miles Sanders, Jonathan Taylor, Christian McCaffrey, Jerry Judy, and Lukun on his that he just traded an 11th round pick for. Lamar Jackson, definitely an upgrade because Matt Ryan is the reason that his team won 6-9. Matt Ryan, and I think he traded 5 fab for Sam Ellinger. I think he had Baker Mayfield at one point. It was definitely a hodgepodge of the Corby carousel, QB carousel. It's been that way for Fall Misfits for multiple years now. So hopefully Lamar Jackson can stay healthy from. And yeah, looking at his picks, he does have his first pick is at 107. He does have 2/6, 2/11s, and 2/13s. He does have 3 fourth-round picks. He doesn't have any fifth, but having 3 in the fourth makes up for that. 23rd and 26 rounders. And his last pick is 27-11. That did come back to him in that trade for a Lokun for that. And fantasy rookie, who is Asadul, is actually a team that was moved into the American division. I believe Trustin Herbert was moved out of the American into a different division. So fantasy rookies team was moved in here. I actually don't know off the top of my head what team this used to be, but I did see the record was 6-11. Looking at the keepers, Kyler Murray, Joe Mixon, Devontae Adams, Chris Olave. I'm not going to butcher the tight end's name, and Zavain Collins. He just did trade for Joe Mixon. I actually was not a fan of that trade. I don't remember off the top of my head. I think it was a 4th rounder involved in that trade. And then he did just trade for Chris Olave for a third and a 9th rounder. I did like that trade for him, but I still think Kyler Murray may not start the season. Who knows if he actually even plays next season? When he plays, could be week 9. And having the 109 pick might be an issue for him. His team might be on the verge of actually being sent down, and not having a 3rd or 4th, a 7th, or a 9th round pick definitely does not help that. He does have 2 6s, 2 23rds, and 2 26s. Does have 3 12s and 3 25ths. His last pick is at 26-20. And the last point I'll point out is Zaven Collins. He's being moved from outside to either edge or inside linebacker. So definitely something to look into, maybe upgrading your keepers, at least your IDP there. Moving to Deuce Bombers, who won 11-3 last year, finished seventh place, I believe. Won the American Division, and looking at his keepers, does have Patrick Mahomes, Dalvin Cook, Javonte Williams, Brees Hall, DeAndre Swift, Nick Bosa. Patrick Mahomes obviously is a stud. No, there's nothing else I can really say on that. Now, this is where his keepers get a little bit iffy. Dalvin Cook, where does he land? Javonte Williams, is he healthy? Brees Hall, is he healthy? DeAndre Swift went to Philadelphia. Rashard Penny went there. Kenneth Gainwell's still there. Boston Scott's still there. I mean, that's 2 games with Boston Scott playing against the Giants that Swift's not going to get much touches. A lot of question marks here. And then even looking in when we switch over to his picks, even more question marks arise. Can he repeat? His first pick's at the 407. He doesn't have a first. He doesn't have a second. Doesn't have a third. He has 2 picks in the 28th, 3 picks in the 29th. His last pick's at 29-14. And we have 5 picks in the last 5 rounds instead of having something. I believe the commission has 10 to 15 picks. I think 15 picks in the first 6 or 7 rounds of the draft. Last 5 picks in the last 5 in the last 2 rounds. It does not make any sense. Yeah. And we're gonna switch right over to catching my Belichick's. Looking at his keepers real quick. He's new to the division. His team, the team that he took over for, was the Architect. He did come in second place. This is why he is last on this. Is taking over a good team. Looking at his keepers, he does have Trevor Lawrence, Saquon Barkley, Brian Robinson, Drake London, Garrett Wilson, Divine Diablo. Trevor Lawrence, obviously, the offense is looking up. Saquon Barkley, everybody thinks Danny Dimes is getting better. I'm still not sold on that. Brian Robinson, I can see Washington actually maybe getting Dalvin Cook, who we just talked about, or maybe Derrick Henry or somebody else to kind of take over that running back role. Drake London, as well as as good as he can be, I think that's going to be a run first, definitely with Bijan Robinson going there. Drake, I mean, they were third in rushing last year. Drake London, Kyle Pitts, a lot of mouths to feed for Desmond Ridder there. That I'm not sure how well Drake London, Garrett Wilson. I mean, everybody thinks Garrett Wilson's going to be a star. I think he can be a star. I don't think Aaron Rodgers actually going there is going to make him into the tier of Justin Jefferson, or even the tier with AJ Brown, or he might fall into the tier with Devontae Smith, but he's definitely getting upgraded quarterback play, but I'm still not sold on him. Yeah, with Aaron Rodgers, but we'll see. First pick is 119. He has 2 picks in the 3rd, 2 picks in the 10th, 19, 22nd, 26th, and 27th rounders. He has 3 picks in the 20th. He has picks in the 12th, and then he's 12, 19, and 603. So that means he doesn't have his original picks in those rounds, but he does have picks in the 12th and the 16th round. Doesn't have any picks in the 2nd, the 4th, the 5th, or the 6th. And his last pick is at 2709. Definitely a lot of turnover in the American division. I can see a step back for the division in whole. They used to be one in the last 2 years, I think they had the most points for. Well, 2 years ago, no, they definitely had the most points for. Last year, I think they were in second in the division of points for and points against, because obviously you're playing each other twice. I can see this division falling down to 3rd most points for. But time will tell, and good luck to the American division.